We're going thrifting today. I'll take you along as I shop, show you what I bring home, and style it in my space. Hopefully you'll find some inspiration along the way. Let's get started. I spotted this little cabinet in the thrift store window and I fell in love with it instantly. It was priced at $19.99, but I managed to get it for just $15 and it's solid wood. It has plenty of scratches and dings, but I have a perfect product to cover them up and bring it back to life. No paint for this one. I want to embrace the natural wood because I love its character. I got the piece home and now I can see it better. The scratches on the top are even more noticeable. Some of them are pretty deep, but I'm not too worried because I have just a thing to camouflage them. Around the edges, you can see where the finish has worn off, likely from years of use and neglect. It's definitely been tossed around, but that just means that it has a story to tell. I love the little cubby. It's got lots of storage in there, and this piece has so much potential. So we're gonna get to work and we're gonna spruce this up. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this knob off, and as I was looking closer at the knob, I am wondering if it is an old Bakelite knob. It just kind of has that feel and that texture. This is a product I'm using to restore the little table, Restore a Finish in the shade Dark Oak. It's made by Howard. It comes in a variety of different shades to match different wood tones. If you're interested, I'll link it in the description because it's an amazing option if you want to refresh a piece without stripping or fully refinishing it. It's super easy to use. Just make sure you're working in a well-ventilated area. I put on some gloves and I grabbed some steel wool, and then you apply the product in circular motions, working it into the wood grain and the damaged areas. Right away, you can see how well it camouflages the scratches and dings. It's like magic. One thing to keep in mind with Restore a Finish is while it does an amazing job blending out scratches and wear, it won't really fully restore those areas. Those scratches and those dings are still going to be there. They're just going to be evened out and camouflaged. Also, if you're working on a piece that has a very high gloss finish, using steel wool might dull some of the shine, so opt to use a soft cloth. That would be a better option. Here's a closer look at how it's blended into the scratches and dings, making the surface look much more even. Instead of looking banged up and worn out, the new wood now has like a smooth, refreshed appearance, while it still has its original character. And the best part about this product is it only takes a few minutes to see the results and have it finished. And it is also very affordable. Now that it's had a few minutes to soak in, about 5 minutes, I'm using a paper towel to wipe off any excess product. This step is important because it helps remove any leftover product that hasn't absorbed into the wood, leaving that surface smooth and even. I'm wiping in the direction of the wood grain to ensure I get the best finish possible, and this step really helps give it that clean look without leaving any of that residue behind. If you don't wipe it off, it's going to just sit on top and it's going to create a greasy, uneven appearance. Here's a closer look after wiping down the product. As you can see, the scratches are still there, but they're much less noticeable now and they've blended in so well. It also gives the piece a nice shiny finish, which makes it look like a well-made, high-quality piece of furniture rather than something cheap and tossed around. I'm going to keep the original knob because I just love it and it adds charm to the piece. Now I'm going to set the cabinet aside, let it cure for about an hour before placing anything on it. We got to give this product time to fully dry. Here's my little table I picked up at the thrift store for $15. I placed it in a bright sunny window and I decided to display some of my plants on it. I absolutely love how it turned out. It looks so much more even and polished, and I feel it even has more of an expensive feel. I'm so glad that I spotted it in that thrift store window. It turned out to be such a great find. Let me tell you about this lamp I spotted at the front counter. It caught my eye immediately. It's gorgeous brass, and that's both elegant and timeless. I grabbed it right away, popped it in my cart, brought it home, and now it's sitting pretty in our bedroom, and I am loving it. The lampshade is just as beautiful. It has like this delicate lace material that adds such an ornate touch. And the best part was only $15. You can't definitely find anything like that at a big box store. This is what thrifting is all about. I was thrifting the other day and I came across this gorgeous little crystal dish. As soon as I saw it, I knew it had to come home with me. But instead of just using it as decor, I had a fun idea. I'm going to turn it into a fancy beeswax candle. It's such an easy and beautiful way to upcycle these little crystal dishes. So for this project, I'm using beeswax pellets, which you can easily find on Amazon. I'll drop a link below in the description. And I love working with beeswax because it burns clean, it smells amazing, and it gives you this warm, cozy glow. Plus the pellets make it super easy to melt and pour. When it comes to figuring out how many beeswax pellets you need, here's a quick tip. I always fill the dish I'm using for the candle all the way to the brim. Why? Because once the pellets melt, they shrink down, so you'll actually need more wax than you think to fill it back up. By filling the dish to the top, I can get a better idea of how much I'm going to need for the project. Now it's time to melt the beeswax. I like to use a tin can for this. Just squish the top a bit to create a spout, making it easier to pour the wax without any mess when it's done. I'm going to carefully transfer the pellets into the can, trying my best not to spill them everywhere, and then we're going to head over to the stove to melt it all down. There are a few ways you can melt your beeswax. Some people use a crock pot or a double boiler, but I prefer using a small saucepan. I take my tin can and I place it inside the pan just big enough so the can can stay steady as the water boils around it. This method lets the wax melt slowly without tipping over or spilling, and it doesn't take long at all to melt those pellets, but just be sure your saucepan is small enough so that the can doesn't tip as the wax melts away. Now that the wax is melted, it's time to add the wick to our crystal dish. I'm using the wooden wicks I found on Amazon. They work really well and they give a lovely burn. Just to secure it in place, I'll put a small dab of hot glue to the bottom of the metal base that comes with the wick and press it firmly in the center of the dish. Now it's time to pour the melted beeswax into our crystal dish. Make sure to use a tea towel or something to protect your hands as the tin can will be warm and we don't want to risk spilling any hot wax or burning ourselves. Carefully pour the wax into the dish and then set it aside and let it cool and firm up. I let the wax set overnight and now it's completely firm. Next, I'm going to trim off that extra wooden wick, and just like that, we've got a gorgeous candle in a crystal dish, perfect for my dining room. These make such thoughtful gifts too. Just a quick reminder, when you're choosing a dish for your candle, make sure it's heat resistant. Opt for something with thick glass to safely hold the wax and withstand the heat of the candle. Across this little wooden napkin holder and I just love the font on it. I don't really have a spot for it, but it caught my eye and it was such a neat piece. And then I spotted this little vase with the matching saucer underneath and it instantly brought back memories. My mom had this exact set in her bathroom and I'm thinking I remember it was from Avon. Now, this piece really had me intrigued. It's a container with spoons all around the outside. I have no idea what it's for. Maybe sugar? If you've seen something like this before, let me know. I left it behind since I don't have a place for it, but it was definitely unique. And of course, I couldn't leave without picking up something little for my granddaughter. She loves Elmo, so he's coming home with me. He'll get a good wash in the washing machine and then he'll be ready to be played with. And check out these prints. They look like they might be like maybe a paint by number, all hand done, but none of them were framed. I always notice pieces like this and think about the time and effort someone put into them. Such beautiful work. I'm always on the hunt for candles, so when I found these gold taper candles, there were 3 of them. I grabbed them right away. I'm planning to swap out the plain white ones I have in my dining room. I think the pop of gold will look much better in my brass candlesticks. One of my favorite thrifting finds is candles, whether it's votives, wax melts, or tapers, and you can often find whole bags of them for next to nothing. I always pick them up, even if I don't need them right away, because they're so much more affordable than buying new. I even have a candle drawer in my living room, so whenever I want to change things up, I just reach in, grab what I need, and it's a simple way to save money while still keeping things cozy and stylish. And oh yeah, these were 25 cents a piece. I spotted this little brass candle holder and it immediately caught my eye. I love the warm tone of the brass, and at just $3.99, I couldn't pass it up. I wish I had found a matching pair. I checked all of the shelves, but this was the only one that I could see. And then on another tray, I came across these small glass candle inserts. They look like they were meant to fit into a type of holder like this, so I decided to test it out. I really love the orange one. The purple was not my vibe. And look at that, it fits perfectly. I already have the perfect spot for it in my dining room. I'll hang it in a little corner with a votive candle, and I can already picture the warm, cozy glow that it's going to give off with that orange glass. I love discovering unexpected pieces that weren't originally meant to go together, but end up being the perfect match. Here it is in my dining room. Just beautiful. The glow from the votive through the glass is so warm, and while I do wish I had found the second one, I'm happy to enjoy this unique little find just as it is. I was on the hunt for some books to style a little table in my dining room, and I stumbled upon a thrift store deal. 5 books for $1. And you better believe I started digging through these stacks, looking for some larger ones that are going to stand up nicely in my cabinet. I also wanted books with interesting themes that would add character to the space. And let me tell you, I scored 5 books for $1. What a steal. And honestly, a couple of these looked so good, I might have to sit down with a cup of tea and flip through them before they make it into that cabinet. Whenever I find books like this, the first thing I do is take off the dust covers. They're usually ripped, torn, or just a little too worn out, but underneath, that's where the magic happens. The actual books often have beautiful colors, and the lettering along the spine is sometimes really beautiful, and they're perfect for displaying. So with this little bundle I scored for just $1, I'm going to remove all of the covers, and I love what's underneath. I'm not going to get rid of those dust covers either. We're going to hang on to them because I'm going to repurpose them. We're all about upcycling and repurposing here, so nothing goes wasted. So we're going to put those aside, and we're going to have this beautiful bundle of books that's ready to go into the cabinet. I found this little cabinet at the thrift store, and I'm pretty sure it was originally a record holder. The bottom shelves look like they were made to store vinyl, but since I don't have a record player, I'm giving it a new purpose, and the books I picked up fit in here perfectly, and I love how it came together. In fact, the next time I'm at this thrift store, I'm going to grab another bundle of 5 for $1. You really can't go wrong with a deal like that. Now it's time to repurpose these dust covers. I do a lot of journaling, junk journaling, mixed media, greeting cards. So when I came across paper like this, it is not going in the garbage. This is a total gold mine for me. Most of these covers are pretty worn and not really worth saving as a whole, but there are still so many usable bits. I'm cutting out any interesting pictures, words, details that I can use in my journaling. I've also got my punches and stamps ready to go. I'm going to be cutting out little circles using my tag cutter and making sure that I'm going to use up as much of this paper as possible. Repurposing and upcycling at its best right here now. Nothing is going to go to waste. If you love paper crafting or junk journaling, I've got plenty of videos on my channel for you. Just head over to my video library and look around and find some inspiration. I also have a graphic club on Patreon where you can access a growing library of graphics that I've designed, perfect for paper crafting and DIY projects that you can incorporate some of these pieces in. New graphics are added every week and they're available as instant digital downloads. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, you can scan the QR code right here or check the links down in the description. It's a fun way to get creative with your projects while also supporting the channel. So this is a great way to find affordable books, not only for paper crafting, but also for styling that little thrifted cabinet like mine. It's a win-win, beautiful decor and plenty of paper to repurpose. So next time you're out thrifting, don't forget to check that book section, and you're never gonna know what kind of treasures you're gonna find. I hope you enjoyed today's thrift and upcycling video and you found some inspiration. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. And if you love this video, I'm sure you're going to enjoy either of these next two as well. Take care.